Microsoft came out swinging for the fences with some crazy announcements, and I wanted to get into that and talk about it because I feel like maybe Microsoft's hands were pushed a little bit too early. Like, they weren't really expecting to come out there and make these types of announcements the way that they did, but at the same time, hey, they said what they said, and we're going to go over it because I find it to be incredibly fascinating, and I want to hear what you guys think. Obviously, it's not just about me, it is also about you guys, and so again, I'm super curious to hear what everyone has to say on this. I'm going to give my reaction because, like I said earlier, I feel like Microsoft is definitely in a weird position right now, and it's a weird position that's sort of, of their own volition. So we'll see if that is something that hampers them in the long run. But until then, let's go ahead and get started. I'm the Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, of course. Back with another video. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It certainly helps out the channel. I do daily video game content, if you didn't know, which is something that not a lot of people do. I try to be informative yet fun, and hopefully that comes across to you guys. So, it was a big day. Xbox is talking about its handheld, and they say it's going to combine the best of Xbox and Windows. Now, I get the joke, haha, what best in Windows? And this is the thing, right? If you go back and you watch Xbox On, or any video, a documentary about the original Xbox, you'll know that, like, Bill Gates originally thought that this console was going to run Windows, right? And then they had to kind of tell him, no, it doesn't run Windows. It runs like this little kernel of Windows, right? Like, that's why consoles are consoles, Part of the reason is because they're not running like a full operating system. Like, if you have a PC, your operating system is doing a lot more than just running games, on the console, it's just reserved for that, and so it can bog things down. It can get, kind of a pain in the butt, like we know when you restart a computer, it takes a little bit to restart. When you start a console, it pretty much starts up right away. So there's like a lot of different things going on there. So it's talking about its as yet unannounced handheld, although they have confirmed they're working on one. According to this, Microsoft's VP of Next Generation, Jason Ronald, took part in a roundtable at CES titled The Future of Gaming Handhelds, where he shared further details about Microsoft's planned portable. Quote, "We've been really innovating for a long time in the console space, and as we partner across the industry, it's really about how we do bring those innovations that we've incubated and developed in a console space and bring them to PC and bring them to the handheld gaming space. Microsoft's gaming CEO has repeatedly hinted that it could create its own Steam Deck-style Xbox device. In an interview with Bloomberg in November of 2024, he said that the expectation is that we would do something in that category. In speaking with Jason Ronald following a roundtable about the potential for an Xbox handheld, he said, and I quote, "I would say it's bringing the best of Xbox and Windows together because we have spent the last 20 years building a world-class operating system, but it's really locked to the console. What we're doing is we're really focused on how do we bring those experiences for both players and developers to the broader Windows ecosystem. I think at the end of the day, our goal is to make Windows great for gaming on any device. The reality is the Xbox operating system is built on top of Windows. So there's a lot of infrastructure that we built in the console space that we can bring to the PC space and really deliver the premium gaming experience on any device." Ronald does go on to say that the goal of the handheld is to create an experience that put Xbox at the center of its focus, not the Windows desktop that you have today. Now, back in March of 2024, Windows Central claimed that Microsoft was working on a fully native Xbox handheld, different prototypes, and in a Polygon interview published a few days later, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer discussed what he'd like to see in a potential Xbox handheld. The executive returned to the subject during an IGN interview following last summer's game showcase, in which he dropped his biggest hint yet that a handheld could be in the works. When it was put to Spencer that Xbox has been building its business around the strategy of being where the players are, be that on PC or more recently other platforms, he said, so we should have a handheld. I think we should have a handheld too. So again, like when you see this, I think the problem is, right, so if you didn't know, and I'm not a PC aficionado or anything like that, this doesn't mean that the handheld is coming. He did mention that, hey, we're going to be doing something later this year or whatever the case may be. And some people took that as, oh, they're going to release a handheld later this year. No, that's not the case at all. What we're going to be seeing is, a situation where they're going to be trying to get things that already exist to run on this operating system. And the reason why they're going to do that is because Steam is allowing their Steam OS to be put on other devices as well. So basically, Steam kind of beat Microsoft to the punch. It's really one of those situations where Microsoft has already kind of indicated their plans to build a handheld. Ronald didn't get into any detail about that. The focus is on existing Windows handhelds. So that's not really a surprise. But again, like, here's the thing: a lot of people, like myself included, would be, interested in an Xbox handheld, but an Xbox handheld, right? Like, I'm not interested in something that is what would be considered a PC handheld or whatever the case may be, right? Or something that runs on Windows or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly couldn't care less about a Windows handheld. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to play PC games. I don't want to mess with stuff. Like, if they can come out with an Xbox handheld that allows me to play my full library of Xbox games, cool. That's something I'd be interested in. If they just get me something that is, that only allows you to play PC versions of Play Anywhere titles, which is like not very much at all, then that's something that I'm 100% not interested in, right? I don't want a PC game. I don't want to mess with that kind of stuff. I don't want to mess with Windows. Now, what they're probably trying to do to make it more streamlined is put like a window that's the Xbox OS or whatever that we have on our consoles over like the PC or over the handhelds, because supposedly, and again, I don't have a handheld right now. Like, I'm not, because I said I'm not interested in PC gaming, so a Steam Deck and an Asus, these things don't do me any good because I don't want one. I'd be interested in an Xbox native handheld because that's just, I have a ton of games, and if you could take those games on the go, your entire library, hey, cool, right? It's worthwhile. Now, if you can't, then it's just a big waste of space and waste of time for me, But I could see what they're trying to do because, obviously Steam is trying to beat them to the punch with some of this, and, that kind of makes sense. Steam is, and I mentioned this the other day, I was like, when you come to think of it, a lot of people don't look at Steam and go, oh, well, they don't have exclusives, they don't do this. It's like all these people, Microsoft seems to either be too early with what they're doing or too late. And that's a real problem in the industry because, people don't like Microsoft, whatever the case may be. You might love Microsoft. Like, I like Xbox. I think Xbox is great, but a lot of people don't. I don't like Xbox, I don't like Microsoft. So, there's that. People love Steam though. Like, people would rather buy a game on Steam than play it through Game Pass on Windows Store, right? And that's just a sad fact of the matter, It's just one of those things that we have to kind of deal with. So again, we'll see if there's something that can come from this, and maybe Microsoft can introduce something good. But like, for the short term, if you're interested in a native Xbox handheld, you probably didn't really understand that this isn't going to really do anything for you in the short term. So, just so you know, you have to kind of understand where that's coming from. Like, you're not going to see an Xbox handheld this year or next year or probably even the year after. But in a few years when you see one, I'm hoping that it is a native handheld and not a, like PC handheld like what we already have, because I feel like that is already kind of taken and hasn't been really successful. But, you know, a handheld from Microsoft themselves where they have an existing fan base who has built up libraries, now that could be something that does something for people, you know what I mean? So that would be a vast difference in my opinion. But hey, maybe you guys agree, maybe you don't. I would love to hear your takes on it. Let me know down below. I appreciate it. I will link this, of course, in the description. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Rack them up, fact them up, Crap Gamer 'em up. I'll catch you guys here next time. Thanks so much for watching. Crap Gamer out.